Cool.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian, welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing part 2 of the Withering Watchpile. I think we're sticking with the name, it makes sense to me. Um, Today we are doing part 2, I guess I always said that, Vinegar Syndrome focused. We're going to also include the partner labels and basically anything you can find on the site in terms of like partner labels or their own. They just announced today a whole new label they're doing called Vinegar Syndrome Pictures, and they're self-producing their own movies now. So I assume it's going to be mostly porn. But yeah, Under Nightmares here with us today. Leon, welcome back.
Thanks, Christian, for having me again, man. It's always a blast. I'm enjoying the segments and went through the Withering watch pile. I'm trying to learn how to say that. So can't wait to get through these films and pretty excited for Vinegar Syndrome.
They just announced the next month's releases, and they look really fucking good. Like last month, I was like, okay, there's like way too many titles. It's like $200 for the monthly package. I was like, I'm gonna skip that. And this month, it's like just over 100, and all of them look great. Like, it's mostly 80s action, I think, right?
I'd say horror, more horror,
Unless I'm confusing
but
it, but like,
yeah.
it's mostly the announcement today I'm thinking of, the Commando Ninja Star movie.
Mhm.
It was considered lost forever, and then Vinegar Syndrome like found the original prints of it and just redid the dialogue with Linnea Quigley, Michael Berryman, and somebody else. Who is it? I'm trying to remember off my head, but they had two amazing actresses and Michael Berryman. I was like, fuck, I'm sold on this. I just worry that's going to be bottom fed. I hope it's not a whole new design. I can't keep splitting up my Vinegar Syndrome. Right now it's split on standard, slips, bottom feed, and then the big boxes like Beastmaster. And not even to mention the box sets. Oh my, so there's 6 separations right now in my Vinegar Syndrome collection.
Wow.
So don't do a new design Vinegar Syndrome. Please.
I can't afford it, man. I got my partner labels at the end and they're all mixed up. I just couldn't keep up.
Until I get more of this pot, because right now I just have I have 2 AGFA releases, I believe, and 1 Altered Innocence, which is like the coming of age queer films that they're doing. Which this one coming out that they just announced looks really good. It's called like When the Tigers Go to Bed or something. Looks
Yeah.
really good. The cover looks awesome too.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
But for now, I
I,
just
I,
leave them into Vinegar Syndrome because I'm just too
I like
lazy.
I like that Halloween one.
Oh, the
I don't know what it
Halloween
is.
special. Yeah.
Yeah, that one really caught my eye. I don't know what label it is, but
A lot of people have been talking about it. Like, I knew nothing about it. I saw the description and it was like super famous. I was like, I've never heard of this. And then I went to
me either.
Discord
But
and everyone
it's
was like,
great.
holy shit. Everyone must get this. And like 10 people about talked about it. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm sold. I'm not going to get it yet unless it like gets out of print like fast, like the
Yeah.
documentary, the SOS documentary, which I wish I had. Because they didn't do a standard. They just did the slips and never made it again. Which I don't get.
Wow. Looks like a great one for October. Not Halloween one.
I need to relook at it, but I don't want to kill my internet. Because it sounds really good right now. It's like instantaneous and no delays. So,
Mhm. Keep it that way, huh?
yeah. What was the initial reactions to your set? Without spoilers of what you watched.
Uh, I'm gonna say pretty solid overall. I did stick. I'm gonna say I stick more to the horror side, but then it changed. But gotta say I'm overall satisfied.
Yeah, I was really excited about mine. I did not plan what I was going to watch. There was one that I was kind of, I want to watch that just because I keep hearing about it. But one was a rewatch, which I really didn't care for this time, honestly. Cause I'll explain it later. But the next one I watched was a slipcover I got recently. That's not part of the package, so start guessing.
Uh,
And then the last one
wow.
was one that was about to go out of print, and I loved it. And overall, I really liked this one a lot more than Severin. Two of the Severin ones I watched were like knockoffs, and not even in an interesting way. And then Anthropophagus.
Yeah, I was satisfied more. I can't say more with the Severin, but it had more winners than this one. But this one was still solid. I mean, I enjoyed. I'd say two out of the three films.
Yeah, I mean, same here. Like, one of them was like shockingly sex based, which I wasn't expecting at all. Which, I mean, is Vinegar syndrome. I mean, there's always going to be nudity like involved. And all three of mine, there's like heavy nudity like throughout. But like, it was all about sex work, which I wasn't expecting. Like, looking at the title and the slipcover, it looks like a California surfer movie about high school. You can probably guess what it is now, but
Hmm.
it was totally different than what I thought it was.
I got some in mind. Don't know if it's right, but we shall see.
Which one? I won't
I'm gonna
confirm it,
say
but
I'm gonna say Malibu High.
might be. Who knows?
That's the one on my mind, but which I also own, but I haven't seen.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go first, if that's okay, since I went first last time. Let's switch it up.
All right, all right. So I'm gonna start off with, like I said, it's the horror dominated this, so it's 80s horror. It's an 80s horror film. So my first watch was The Lamp, aka The Outing, from 1987.
Oh, okay.
And I have written right under it, straight out of the 80s cheese vault. So yeah, this is directed by Tom Daly. The only thing I could find on him is he directed a cult rock video called The Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun. And he also died in 2014. So
Oh, recent.
rest in peace, man. But yeah, this is your typical 80 cheesy horror film, like I said. It's basically about an ancient lamp that's cursed since back in the days, and it has a bracelet. Whoever puts on this bracelet pretty much controls pretty much the lamp. It takes control of them, possesses them in a way. And it starts off with this group just pretty much robbing an old lady's house, and they pretty much are looking for money and all that. They can't find it. This old lady's creepy looking. Um, and she's actually the guardian of the lamp. And they pretty much end up, doing wrong. They end up pretty much murdering her and finding the lamp and getting cursed by it. And I mean, you have the lady come back zombie fight and pretty much kill all the thieves in a pretty gruesome way. And that's where it leads off. We get back to pretty much these two scientists. They find the lamp later. This is years later, I guess, and they pretty much are like, I'd say like archaeologists type, not scientists, but they're pretty much trying to figure out what this lamp is and stuff. You have the scientist's daughter come in. She gets the bracelet and pretty much gets possessed, controlled by the lamp. And we have your typical 80s horror film. They end up going to a museum and staying the night there, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And you have the lamp in there, and the pretty much the daughter possessed. And you got your typical 80s horror film. They're gonna party in there and make out and stuff like that. As they're doing that, there's an evil entity in there, pretty much stalking him and picking him off one by one. You do have some pretty good practical effects. I like the kills. You have pretty much a pretty cool scene I liked was a girl in a bathtub. She's taking a bath in the museum. And there's a bunch of snakes that go in there and pretty much chomp her up. A bunch of cobras and all that.
Ooh.
That was a pretty nice kill. And then you have another one where, I don't know, you have these two like bullies kind of. It's funny because a scene where they're in school. Rewind a little bit. This one was hilarious, but they're pretty much he's the ex-boyfriend bully. He's trying to fight the main, like the final girl's boyfriend that she has now, and he pretty much goes and punches his ex-girlfriend in the stomach,
Oh no.
and they're fighting through the school, and then you see like a teacher come with like a pool stick, and she knows kung fu. So she's like throwing these guys down and flipping them over. It's just, oh my god. Like I said, cheese fest, and she pretty much whoops these two bullies, saves the day, and then you have the principal come in and kick the guy out of the school, and he pretty much calls the principal the N word because he's black,
Oh no.
and you have him get expelled, and these guys are just pitiful. But anyways, they end up getting one of the girls in this museum, and it is a rape scene. Um, but
That's
as
the
they're doing
80s.
this,
As we were talking about before the episode.
yeah, you pretty much see him get killed in a gruesome way. They don't get to like proceed with it. But anyways, you have this evil entity that's coming out of this lamp and pretty much taking him off, picking him off one by one. You have them trying to survive the night through this museum. But I really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was a pretty good like looking creature that's involved in this. I thought it looked pretty awesome. But like I said, it's your typical '80s horror film. But I had a lot of fun with it. And I also found out that this film was financed by the same people who funded the original Halloween. So it's pretty interesting. But
Hmm.
yeah, overall, like I said, I love these cheesy '80s horror films from back in the day, and this one doesn't disappoint. And I thought it was unique that they're in a museum overnight. I like films like that, like where you have like people overnight, like in a mall, in a shopping mall, for example. But
Oh yeah.
this gives that feel, but this time it's like a museum. And pretty effective kills. Like I said, I recommend it.
Hmm. What's interesting, well, there's like five different points I want to make. First one is that you mentioned how it's the same people as Halloween financing it. I was
Yeah,
looking at my copy because I was just kind of looking at it, and if you heard me opening stuff, I was doing some internal research with other
yeah,
movies I own. But this one is actually an MGM film, which they never license out movies. And I'm wondering if they like saw this on the shelf and Vinegar Syndrome was like, come on, come on, let us have this. Like no one else is probably asking for this, and they probably license it out. So I think
yeah.
Arrow has done a few, like Last House on the Left, because I see that on the spine on my limited edition is the big MGM logo. And so I wonder if this is like one of those really low, like want low demand movies that Vinegar Syndrome was just able to get from MGM, one of the biggest film production companies in America.
Yeah,
And
it could be.
another point I have is that this is exactly like Wishmaster, but Wishmaster was 10 years later. So
Hmm.
I wonder if there's a relationship between that. It's the same tagline, make a wish if you dare, and I think Wishmasters is like, be careful what you wish for. It has the same
Yeah,
exact thing with the archaeology students. Our main character in Wishmaster is played by some woman who probably they try to make like a sexy star, but I've never seen her again in a movie. And in that movie, she's a gemologist, like someone who looks at gems, like auction houses, which is basically
hmm,
archaeology. Like they uncover old treasure, and the lamp, and I guess the lamp is like that archaeological relic. In Wishmaster, it's a statue with the gem inside of it that Joe Pilato, while drunk and probably drunk on set, drops in Wishmaster, and it breaks open, and someone picks up the gem and walks away with it. Like some construction guy unleashes the demon, a demonic entity. It's like exactly the same. The entire time you were talking about the story, I was like, this is Wishmaster. But this is like
wow.
10, 15 years earlier, before Wishmaster. Like, what year was The Lamp?
It was
87.
actually 87, yeah.
10 years exactly before Wishmaster.
Wow.
That's what's
There's got to
kind
be
of
some kind of
amazing to me.
inspiration.
There has to be. Like, I've never heard the relationship. So I never knew about the lamp in my life until Vinegar Syndrome was like, here you go. Here's an MGM title. And I was looking
Yeah,
at it. I didn't really look at it. I just saw the covers for that month. It was 3 titles: Killer's Delight, The Lamp, and
yeah.
Through the Fire, which nobody likes. I haven't heard any positive things about that movie.
That movie's. I enjoyed it, but it could have been better.
Yeah, and like I just saw those covers for that month, and I was like, pre-order. It's like $60. Like, why not? An entire month. Like, hey, I don't have to catch up on that later. When I get the subscription, I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about 2022. Like, that's gonna be nice. But like, there's just so much similar stuff between this and Wishmaster. Have you seen Wishmaster?
I have, but it's been years. I don't. I got to revisit. I forgot them.
It's really good. I rewatch every time I want to watch all the series because I've only seen one, but I have that Vestron 4 pack that has the first 4 movies and like super
Yeah.
high like def and like documentaries for each movie, commentary tracks for each movie, even with the directors who are like, it's Robert Kurtzman, who he's really popular in Walking Dead. I think he's the director.
Oh well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the showrunner, I believe, for Walking Dead. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
major. Like he doesn't have time to do a commentary track on Wishmaster. Like he's doing Walking Dead. But they have that for each movie. And Chris Angel, I don't know if it's the same Chris Angel as the magician slash weirdo that we all loved
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
2000s. But there's a commentary track with him, a whole interview series with him on the movies he directed. Like, so I want to
Yeah.
do a double feature of this and Wishmaster, like, and just see.
That would probably go together good.
So I haven't
Honestly.
seen The Lamp, so I
Got you,
heard
man.
from
It's
a
fun.
friend of mine that it wasn't good, and so I just kind of put it on the back burner. But now that you're saying it's really good, like, and it has great kills, I'm like, gotta reevaluate
Yeah, it's like
my
kind of like
priority.
it's like a supernatural slasher, if I could put it at that. But even though the director said it's not a slasher, don't call it that. He'll get like offended.
I'm better than that.
Yeah, but yeah, it was actually released by Scream Factory in a double pack. But what Vinegar Syndrome did with this is they put an extended cut with never before scenes.
That's how they do it. They just
So
show
that's
up
why
with a
it's
new
worth.
cut. Like,
Yeah, that's why it's worth getting this edition because you're gonna see like pretty much a whole new extended version of the film.
did you see the extended?
Yeah, that's the one I watched. Yeah,
Okay, that was probably the good one because Will was actually the one who said it kind of sucked. But I wonder if he
I
saw
could
the theatrical.
I could see that because like it's not like a good movie. It's you got to be in for the cheese because it's very cheesy.
There's a whole extended documentary in the same style of the Beastmaster and 16 Samurai, so that has me even more interested. Holy shit! I've never really looked at this release. It was part of that
I like it.
pack, and I was like, hell yeah, that looks awesome. It's gonna look great on my shelf. Never thought about it again. But
Yeah,
just to go off topic here, did you see that Halloween 5 Scream Factory 4K is having never before seen uncut scenes with all the blood?
yes,
Because that was the main thing people hated about Halloween 5 was that they took out all the blood scenes.
I did see that, man. It makes me more psyched because
I'm
I'm in
about
the
to
same
buy
boat.
it. Honestly.
Yeah, yeah, that's honestly on my radar. I want 4 and 5 for sure on 4K because I don't. I own the box set, but like I think like upgrading those two would be good. Like you said for the unseen footage, and then the part 4, I want like a better upgrade version of it.
See,
But those are the two on mine.
yeah, like I only own 3 already. I'm not upgrading that because they have no new special features. So I'm just kind of like, save some money. But like, I don't even own 1 yet. Number 2, I'm tempted. I might ask for that for like Christmas or something.
Yeah,
But like 4 and 5, I had no interest in. 4, I know nothing about. But 5, I was like, I know there's a lost cut, and that is considered lost. Like even the director doesn't have it. I'm curious where they found it because they're not even like having it as special features. They're just putting it back in the movie, like
Wow,
and just including it like into an extended cut, and that's just
that's what
so
I like.
exciting for me because people say it's really good, but it's the disappointment of Michael, holding the big,
Hmm.
trident. I think is that movie. Is when he kills someone with the trident, and
Yeah,
he swings down. And you think someone's face is gonna get pulverized. Nope, next scene. It's like, oh.
yeah,
But now that they're gonna have all the kills, like, I'm really evaluating because that's when Donald Pleasance is back, right? He has like a pathetic scar on his face, even though he exploded into a fireball in number
yeah,
two.
yeah. Yeah, he actually makes his return in part four, and then it leads to that. They're connected, four and five.
Fuck, so I'm gonna have to get four also. Ugh.
Yeah, because the story connects.
When does it come out? I might have to get that for like my birthday.
October 5th, I think is the release date.
My birthday's the second. Damn. Okay.
But for
I'll
sure,
get it
on mine,
later.
four and five.
Fuck, I'm gonna own all five Halloween movies. Ugh. I'd rather they just upgrade that Halloween set.
That's
I'd
what I
buy
wanted. It
that.
was a 4K box set, man. But I don't know. I guess right issues had something to
Most
do with it.
likely. It's Scream Factory. It goes back and forth. Like, I'm so nervous if the Friday the 13th set goes out of print. Because I really want that. It's just, like, I go every sale, or, like, every time I'm like, oh, there's, like, no new releases I want. Okay, I'm going to catch up, with, like, Vestron or Vinegar,
Yeah,
someone. I look at it and it's $150. And even if it is, like, what, 12 movies, like, that's not bad. It's $15 each. But still, 150 on one item. Just, ugh.
man.
That's why I'm not getting that full horror set by Severin. Even
And it,
despite my opinions on Severin, it looks like a great set. It's just so much money for one. It's $270 for that set, I think.
which one from Severin? The folklore,
Yeah,
folklore. Yeah,
it's like 250. I
I
think.
had no interest in it till I watched the trailer today.
That's why I don't watch trailers. It's a double
Like,
advantage for
fuck, that
me.
looks cool, man. Now I want it, but I'm probably gonna pick it up. Payday.
See, I'm still
Hopefully,
catching
let's
up.
see.
You have a lot more individual releases than I do. I mean, I have a lot more Criterion, but everything else you have more on. So, like, you can get that. Like, it's a lot more. It makes more sense for you to get that than me.
Yeah, I'm just worried that it's gonna sell out.
I mean, the fact that they're allowing people to buy unlimited copies is just, like, so sleazy, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because they can, like, they're just letting anybody pay, like, get as many copies. So it's going to sell out, and it's going to be $1,000 on eBay within a week.
yeah, because that Al Adamson set sold out fast.
I wanted that. I don't care
Yeah.
for Andy Milligan. I heard that one was just bottom of the barrel. Like,
I didn't care for
below the
it, but
barrel.
I didn't finish it. But there was a couple I liked, but it's very low budget. Like, you got to be in the mood for them, pretty much. Not You're not gonna enjoy it.
I really
But
like
that
that
Adamson
Christopher
set
Lee
I
set.
liked because I still gotta watch that, man.
Oh, shit.
I
Dr.
have it here, and I
Sadism
still
is
haven't
probably
seen
the best one. That one is just
it. Is
batshit
it?
crazy.
I'm gonna watch those soon. Yeah, that Al Adamson set. Like, I'm a fan of acting and exploitation. That's what it is. They're bad B movies, but they still do it for me because you have like freaking Satan bikers and shit like that. It's like right up my alley. And you got like freaking kung fu films that are just like rare and like bizarre. I'm like, this is what I live for right here: action and exploitation, man. And he
I
does have
remember
his
them
horror films
announcing
too.
it, and I was like, "Oh, that looks great." Then a week later, sorry, we have no more copies. I was like, "What?"
It's sold out quick, man.
I was like, "Never mind. Guess I'm not getting it." That answers my question on if I should buy it.
I enjoyed it. People hated it, but me personally, I liked it.
Oh, I was putting my
Because there are movies on that Adamson box set that are the same movie just with different titles, and you'll watch the same movie twice a few times
Oh wow, really?
just with different titles.
Is it different cuts at least? Like
No, it's
any?
the same fucking movie, just a different title.
So they packaged the same movie twice? What? That's
Yeah,
bizarre to
that's
me.
odd. I think there's two movies that I watched that were the same fucking movie,
I heard the
just different
documentary is
title.
actually probably the best thing on that set
Yeah,
because nobody
it's real
knew who this
creepy.
weirdo guy was until that documentary.
I recommend that documentary, man. That's the first thing I watched
You can buy that like on its own from Severin, I believe.
on a single release. I recommend that. It's really good.
Hmm. Well, I'll make sure to add it on my secondhand seller list.
It's so creepy, dude. Like his death is so creepy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it even says he died the way he filmed movies, horror wise.
He died as he lived. Creepily.
Yeah, that's what it says. It actually says that on there. But
But anything else on
I,
the lamp?
no, that's pretty much all I had there on that film.
I'm trying to think any other movies like that. Um, I can't really think of any. I mean, Wishmaster is like a carbon copy, so I want to watch
Hmm.
The Lamp and see. Cause it's only been like 2 months since I've seen Wishmaster, so it's still kind of fresh in my head.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the lamp. Oh, it's what I live for to watch are those 80 cheesy horror films. It's right in that category.
Well, you want to move on to my first one and see
Yeah,
what
sure.
my rewatch was. Um, so this one was one I'd seen years ago in like a group setting. I think I may have seen it in class. I don't know. Or at one of my cult film committee when I was ejected from the movie council or whatever in my dorm. And I was like, hey, Will, I got ejected. Can I have my own committee, but cult films? He was like, yeah, sure. Here's $100 to fund it. And I was like, great. And so I think I asked for War Force. I was like, that would be a fun movie to screen first. And that's what I rewatched was War Force by
Nice.
Edward Murphy. I keep wanting to call him Eddie Murphy, but it's totally different people. 1981, I believe. It's really tiny print. 1981. This is a 2014 Vinegar Syndrome release. This is one of the first. So, the fact that they still have copies around, I don't know why I was worried that this was going out of print, because that's why I bought it. I saw there were like 15 copies left. I was like, oh no, it's going out of print. And I bought it, and then they were like, oh great, okay, we got below 15. Okay, restock. And it went back up to like 400
Yeah.
copies. I was like, fuck. But I mean, I've been meaning to own it for a while. It's a really goofy. Have you seen it? Do I need to describe the story?
I've seen it, but actually,
Okay.
it's been a while.
So basically, it opens with a really bizarre, like, woman slave selling scene where we get a lot of, like, beautiful ladies with no tops. One of them has a top on for no reason at all. I assume the actress just wasn't comfortable, so they were like, okay, fine. So we'll put you in the back where you can't be seen, because she is, like, kind of hiding behind the other woman who are, like, full topless, whatever. And then, like, they're getting sold in exchange for rubies or, like, emeralds or jade. I think it's jade. Like, yeah, it says jade. Invaders of the Jade Tomb is the alternate title, I think. So they're being sold for jade, which is a really bizarre exchange rate, in my opinion. They don't use money. They're just like, hey, give me all your jade, because it's Undead Warrior Island or something. It's a really bizarre name. And it's also a tourist attraction because all of our heroes, who are a bunch of schlubby white guys, show up and they're like holding up a brochure, like, "Where is Warriors Island?" And they find it from like some native, and she's like, "I don't want to go near it. It is haunted." Every fucking movie, I think Anthropophagus even had that storyline of a native being like, "I don't want to go there," like a native of the island. So we're getting some repeats here. And so she's like, "Okay, fine, I'll guide you there, but we'll only be there for a day." And they get there, and apparently the soil on Warriors Island resurrects dead Japanese martial artists, like masters. And so we get a lot of scenes of them like jumping out of the ground and like kicking people's heads off. It's just like a lot of fun. This is a great movie to watch in a group. And that's why I didn't really like it this time, but I liked the movie a lot. It just wasn't the right circumstances to watch it, which was alone in my room at 10:30 p.m. falling asleep, and you gotta watch it, get some beers, get some friends, and have a lot of fun. I mean, they just pull out rocket launchers in the most random scenes and blow apart zombies, like towards the end. And there's really not much to say. I mean, it's just there was a movie we talked about where it was one set piece to the next. I can't remember what that movie was. It wasn't in the last episode. It was just like a random like tangent we had where I was like, this really reminds me of like a haunted house ride where you go into the room, the scare happens. Okay, now we gotta go to the next room to like get scared. But instead of getting scared, this entire movie is, okay, we have a martial arts scene. Okay, we're done. We used a rocket launcher to end it instead of martial arts. Okay, let's go on the beach now because the script says we need to go do some martial arts at the beach. Okay, we're done. Okay, now we're gonna go into the jungle. We're gonna have a couple martial... Like, that's the entire movie. It's them wandering from one set piece to the other. And, oh my gosh, before they even get on the island, because that happens at like 45, 50 minutes, they are on a boat for like 50 minutes of the movie, and it's so fucking boring. Outside of the last 10 minutes when they, like, some of the monks who are selling women for emeralds, or jade, I guess, get on the boat. It's very much like King Kong, if you've seen that, where they get on the boat, they capture the woman to sacrifice to King Kong. It's very much the same exact situation. But they're sacrificing them to the undead samurai. It's a really bizarre thing, but the entirety before they invade the boat is everybody's getting a massage. And not everybody, all the women. And they're all topless on the bed, and like butlers are walking in like, "Oh, do you want some champagne?" And a woman's just sitting there on the bed, like arcing her back up so her like breasts are like full view, full like everything. And she's like, "Oh yeah, just put it over there, put it on the counter." And like there's just so much nudity in this movie, like for like the first half. And then like she's getting massaged by like some big hairy guy who's like sweaty. It's like really awkward. She doesn't know who he is. She thinks it's her boyfriend. Again, reminds me of Revenge of the Nerds, where our main hero rapes somebody like by pretending to be somebody else. And then like she's like, "Oh no, you're not my boyfriend." He's like, "Ah," and like ties her up with rope. And then the boyfriend walks in, does some very awkward kung fu against sweaty Italian men, because this is an Italian production. Cameron Mitchell is the captain of the boat, which was a lot of fun. He just yells at people because he's a drunk in real life, and he just yells at people in every movie he's in. He's like hilarious. There's a movie he did with what's his name? Oh shit. Killing Point, I think the movie is called. It's a real with Leo Fong. Do you know him, Leo Fong?
Sounds familiar, but
he's like
I'm not
an
sure on that one.
elderly Asian man who's like John DeHart. He wanted to be an action hero, and he is just not it at all. There's no good transfers of it. I hope Vinegar Syndrome does that soon. They did fucking get a Vin. They should do Killing Point. or what's his name? I don't think it's Killing Point. Not Blood Debts. Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me. I don't have the movie anymore because it was part of a shitty DVD collection I had, and it was just that movie I like. Low Blow. That's the movie. Low Blow.
Never heard of that one.
Cameron Mitchell is in that movie, and he like is like a devil worshipper, kind of like in Gitterman. And he has like the black cloak on, and he also has sunglasses on, and he's just passed out on a lawn chair the entire movie, just like yelling because he's just blackout drunk while they're filming the movie. They just mute him and ADR lines for everybody else, and it is so awesome. But he's in this movie, he's not as drunk. He's mostly just flirting with his shipmate, who's like a woman. So that's like a lot of fun, but that's really all I have to say. I mean, it's just action movies. Action scenes.
Yeah.
The boat scene's really awkward until the last 10 minutes when we get everybody doing kung fu. And oh my gosh, the boat burns
That's my
down.
favorite scene.
Yeah, the boat starts burning down because the Japanese / Amazonian people, which geographically they're totally separated, but in this movie they're the same for some reason. They're burning the boat down, and they just like awkwardly put in flames above it. And Cameron Mitchell's looking at the boat, like, "Oh Betsy, I'm gonna miss you." And you can see the line below the flames to a like they keyed in like flames, so it's like going up and down. It's not lining up at all with the boat. It's so funny. But get past the really boring like boat scene, and the rest of the movie is just gold. Watch it in a group though, and with alcohol, because that's the only way to watch it. Like describing it now, I'm like, yeah, this movie is great, but like watching it alone, no alcohol, was really boring. That's really all I have to say. So
I can see that. That's definitely a film you got to watch with a group of friends and some beer. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that boat scene because that had me laughing out loud when they're doing the kung fu on the boat.
It's so bad. Nobody can do it well.
I was like, oh my god, this is horrible but entertaining. I couldn't keep my eyes off it. But yeah, I like the zombie part too. But like you said, it's ridiculous. You start bringing out rocket launchers and all. It's like
that's the only way they like finish the scene. They're like, "Oh, we can't kill a zombie with kung fu." Okay. Oh wow, I just found a rocket launcher on the ground.
just
It's
randomly.
like, where did you find that?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but it's like one of those so bad it's entertaining. But definitely watching a group, I agree 100%. It's not one to watch, like you said, falling asleep at 10:30 at night. Nah, it's not gonna do it.
On a Tuesday night when you have work at, gotta wake up at 7 a.m. so you can get there by 9, which is me.
Man,
So I live an hour away, so. But yeah,
that's a good
all
choice.
I have to say on that first one. I don't know if he's done anything else. Edward Murphy.
That is hilarious. I'm thinking Eddie Murphy in my head too.
Yeah, I know. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh. Oh, they have a audio interview with Jim Wynorski. I don't know why. I don't know how he's related at all with this movie. He's like a really popular guy. I don't know if you know him, but he shows up in like a lot of like classic films. I don't know why he's doing an interview about Raw Force.
They paid him.
I guess so. I guess it was his favorite movie. Who knows?
I said there's alcohol, so he showed up.
He got paid in alcohol.
Yeah.
What's your second movie?
Oh, you're done with that one?
Yeah,
No,
I really have nothing else to say. So
this is the gem out of the films right here coming up.
oh boy.
And this is off the new August package too. So I'm going with Auntie Lee's Meat Pies.
Yes! I was so curious about
1993.
this.
Again, it's directed by Joseph Robertson, and he died in 2001.
Oh
All I
wow.
could find on him is 70s porn. Is what he films.
Well, hey,
So
that's better than a weird music video like the last guy.
yeah, that was awkward, man. I haven't even heard of the video, but anyways, this film is like how I could describe it is it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 mixed with like how could I say it? I'm gonna say like wrong. It's just this hillbilly backwoods slasher film, but comedy.
I've heard
But
it's
it's done
really
so good.
close to Sweeney Todd, if you've seen that with
There you
Johnny
go.
Depp.
It's compared to Sweeney Todd a lot. You hit it right on the
That's
mark.
all I know, and I was like, I'm sold. And because Kevin Black is like the lead,
Karen Black.
I love
Got
him.
Michael Berryman in here too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's got a good cast. You got Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita.
Oh yeah, I think I remember reading that.
So it has a good cast. All it, but the golden actor to me is Grant Kramer from Killer Clowns of Outer Space.
I haven't seen that movie in a while. I thought you
No,
were gonna say
oh,
Killer Condom. I was like, oh
no,
well.
but he's the main one in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and he's a rock star in this one, like in a rock band, dude. It's just gold.
Oh man, I love rock and roll horror films.
Yeah, this one I highly enjoyed. It's a so bad it's good film. But anyways, this starts off with a pretty much a psychopath killing a priest, and then you have pretty much a girl getting raped.
God, there's so
But
much rape
then
in your movies.
I know I don't even look for it. It just pops up, man. But anyways, the girl kills the guy. Anyways, gets him back. But
Hey, that's good. I like that.
then we rewind to it goes to this like farmhouse. It's called Auntie Lee's Meat Pie, and Auntie Lee is no other than Karen Black.
Queen.
And they have the like this. They sell these meat pies that are famous, but you know what's in them, and they're pretty much labeled liver, tongue, etc. And they're like famous. Everyone loves them, and she has these nieces, man, and they're I mean they're playboy playmates that play these nieces, so they're real attractive women. But you have pretty much these meat pies. Pretty much this Auntie Lee's like kind of retired from the game, so she has her nieces out there pretty much seducing men and bringing them in for the meat.
Oh, she kills
So
him for the meat?
yes,
Oh, that's
to
awesome. Oh my god.
to run her meat pie business, and you got these women. They only choose certain ones. It's hilarious because they're like, nah, this one's from LA. We can't get them. They're too airhead for us or something like. It's funny. I don't remember it all, but there's this rock group coming in, and that's where you have Grant Kramer, and they're from New York, and one of the girls is like, she's all, oh, I want some meat from the Big Apple, or something like that. It's just real odd. And they lower these guys in. You got a hitmaker. They awesome kill. It's a beheading in a closet. Practical effects. And anyways, these guys end up missing, and you got this private dick. He's called. He's like his own private agency, and he's investigating these people that are disappearing. But at the same time, he's getting seduced by one of the nieces. And where's that? Where's this at?
I can't get
Oh,
over the
anyways,
name of that guy. It might as well be Private Penis. Private's penis.
anyways, one of those nieces tells him, "Do you like to make love?" And he responds by, "All I can tell you right now is I was a private dick." And he smiles at her, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like it's so cheesy, like the one-liners. But anyways, you get these rockers. They show up at Aunt Lee's. They're spending the night. They don't know that they're pretty much dinner are gonna be in there, and it's funny because you got Karen Black. Just they're doing a prayer at the table, and you're like, "Oh, they're gonna pray," and she's praying to Satan, to Lucifer out loud, and all of them are down with they're all, going along with the ritual. And then you got randomly Michael Berryman has like the how could you say it? He's the one that works around the house, pretty much does all the dirty work.
Of course, it's just like in
The groundsman, something like
House of a Thousand Corpses. Although he didn't play that, right? That
that.
was
And
someone else.
it's a good thing you said that because this film reminded me of A House of a Thousand Corpses. I think that's where Karen Black got her, or they got that from her because it reminded me a lot of that. Not as off the wall, but
She's also in the It's Alive trilogy that Scream Factory put out. She's in three, along with Michael Moriarty. That movie has a
oh,
lot of Rob Zombie like regulars. I think Bill
I
Moseley may even be in it.
oh, I love Bill Moseley. I think Rob Zombie got a lot from this film for House of a Thousand Corpses because you even have a laugh by one of the nieces that's identical to Sherry Moon Zombie
Oh my god, I can't
in
stand
House of
Sherry
a
Moon.
Thousand Corpses.
Oh my god, I can't
That
stand
laugh
her.
he does, I can almost guarantee it was taken from this film. And anyways, Michael Berryman is Pluto. He's kind of like a slow guy, and anyways, he it pretty much leads up to you got Pat Morita. Um, he's trying to investigate what's happening, and pretty much you get poor Michael Berryman. His name's Pluto in the film. That's funny because Pluto, that's his name on House Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's like identical. Oh no, never mind. His name's different. I got that wrong.
So I
But
was thinking
anyways,
Pluto like the dog from one of the cartoons.
I got
Um,
that wrong. But
Not like Peanuts, but one of those like classic ones.
yeah, it pretty much leads to this. But I love the setting of the house because it has these hidden rooms, and I mean, there's a scene with rattlesnakes that's pretty gruesome.
Ooh.
And then you also have like the setting's just crazy. You go to like this basement where they have all their meat products, and it's one of the most brutal kills out of the film. You got a guy pretty much stuffed Texas Chainsaw Massacre style with a hook, and you could just see his nerves and everything twitching. I think that was inspired, of course, by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but
What year was it? I
it
forgot.
was 93,
Okay.
1993, and yeah, it just leads up to this ending. You got these rockers. They pretty much get a flat tire, which is blown out by these nieces on purpose, and they're spending the night. You have plenty of sex with some amazing looking women. I mean, you got too few playmates in here, so a lot of eye candy in this film, and it pretty much leads to their gruesome deaths one by one. And you got this Aunt Lee who's building up her stuff. I love the effects. You got like tables full with body parts all over. You got like limbs, arms, bunch of guts just all put in the meat pies. I thought that was amazing. Um, but yeah, it pretty much leads to that and to a gruesome ending. That's all I could get in without giving it away too much. But yeah, I just that's pretty much I got. I don't know. I got some supplements. You want to hear those? I did watch the
Yeah.
documentary. Well, yeah, Michael Berryman talking to him, and he has this saying that he enjoyed the film a lot, but then he starts going off about how Hills Have Eyes, where he was saying that him and Wes Craven went to. He just changed it like randomly, and he's like, "Yeah, me and Wes Craven, we went to this drive-in promoting Hills Have Eyes, and Wes Craven tells me, dress up like Pluto and run through the drive-in, just start scaring people." So I guess he did that. And they run through the drive-in, and he's scaring the shit out of people until he walks up to, he said, this like 6'5", 200-pound guy, and he's like with his woman at the drive-in. He scares them, and he said this guy gets out of the car, pulls out a gun on him, and says, "You're pretty much, you're gonna pay for this." So he's running. He says, "I run, I'm yelling," and he said Wes Craven is actually in a vehicle leaving, and I'm running to catching it and jump in the back before this guy gets me.
Jesus.
So he has stories like that, and then you got Grant Kramer from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He said that he hadn't been filming since that film, been like I don't know how many years, and he said one of his buddies, a rocker in the film, calls him and like tells him, "Hey, you want to star in this film, man?" And he's like, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's just a good time. So I guess he agrees to it.
Get a
Yeah, and
paycheck.
film this for long. So he goes with the buddy, and he's like, we were young, and he's all because in the film it shows these rockers they're drinking and smoking weed, and he says they were really doing that on set.
Hey.
He said we were smoked out, drunk, and it was just like a buddy thing hanging out. And he said it was one of his most fun films because he said he's always serious on every film, sober, serious. Not this one. He said, man, it was a party between all of them. He said they were hardly sober on set.
That reminds
And
me
then,
of The Holy Mountain by Jodorowsky, where everyone was on acid the entire time.
oh my god, that film, I could understand it with that film,
I
man.
love that movie. I still don't own that set. I really need it. You need to sell me your copy.
I got it, man. Instantly, I had to. But yeah, anyways, it's also you got Pat Morita and you have Michael Berryman telling him like a story about him that he was just going through a divorce. He had just separated from his wife during this film,
Oh.
so he had dislocated, and he said that Pat Morita was hardly sober during this film either. They're all partying, I guess. He said we go to his house, drink beer, and then we'd go on set. So I guess it was this film was pretty much a party film, but also I liked they had a how do you say it, animatronic rattlesnake.
Oh, animatronic, yeah.
There you go. I can't say the word. Animatronic rattlesnake kill. That was awesome, and I was seen by the gore effects guy, and he was saying that they had to build that. I don't know how many things, and they put it together, but it looks really cool, like giant fangs. And that goes back to that rattlesnake scene where that guy gets killed. But man, this film is just a blast. I enjoyed it. It's just a fun time. It's when you just turn off your brain and enjoy because it's a bad movie, but it's so entertaining at the same time. But
I just love that interview that you talked about Michael Berryman just not talking about the movie, but instead talking about something else. It reminds me of the audio commentary of Candyman with the director and Tony Todd. Because I was like sitting there and I was like, oh man, I'm going to listen to the audio commentary. Like, this is going to be amazing. I want to learn about, Candyman, behind the scenes. And the entire time they're like, hey, have you seen the new Avengers movie? I'm like, stop talking about that. Talk about Candyman.
yeah, he just straight up goes into The Hills Have Eyes and talking him in Wes Craven stories.
Doesn't even say the words Aunt Meaty Meat Pies or whatever her name is.
no, you just. But like the standout to me was I'm gonna say it's Grant Kramer, man, returning to the scene to the filming because I loved him in Killer Clowns of Outer Space, and he's just this dingy rock star. It's just awesome. They're all cruising on the road. Their music sucks. They're singing their music in the house, and I'm laughing out loud.
They're
And these girls
singing
like, "You
Shimmy
guys are
Slide.
great." Yeah, it's in that level. I don't know if as epic. Probably not as epic, but and these guys like, it took us a lot of recordings and all that. And the girls like, you can tell that's just so amazing. I'm like, that
It's so
song
crisp.
sucked. yeah, it's just oh my god, a must watch. That's all I gotta say on this one.
Well, I was very curious about this because I love the cover of that so much. I haven't checked the quantities because for some reason the app still won't tell you how much units are left for slip covers and stuff like that. Just anything,
Yeah.
any product. And so I haven't really looked, but like this was the month that I was talking about earlier. Where it was like $200. It was like 8 movies, I think.
Yeah,
Or
it's
6.
pricey.
It was something crazy. Like,
There's five movies in the package.
okay,
A
yeah,
4K.
yeah, 4K is probably what bumped it up, 40 by $50. But I saw that whatever it takes, the one with Fred Williamson. I wanted that one.
Yeah.
And the partner one doesn't count. The ninjas and Commando
She
versus
Freak.
dinosaurs. Whatever that movie is, that movie looked ridiculous.
Oh
I
man,
wanted
I
it.
can't wait to watch that.
And there was another horror film. Oh, Dead Girl Screamers or something weird. Really awkward name.
Yeah.
That one too was like it.
Was it a trauma film?
Yeah, it's a trauma. We every month for the last few months, including this one that got announced this week, have been trauma. So, where the fuck is my killer condom?
Um,
That's a trauma
the
film.
embossed condom on the cover. Let's do it.
They better come with like an actual condom that is modeled after the killer condom from the end of the film. Because oh my god, I would lose my shit. I would pay $100 for just that, for like a collector's edition. That would blow me away.
Bring it like Beastmaster, man. 4K.
A 4K of killer condom. Oh my god. That
Still
would
gotta
be
watch that, man.
insane.
I looked up the DVD and it's like fucking crazy money just for the DVD.
I found it at my used bookstore because they have a DVD like Blu-ray 4K section, and they had it in like the foreign section. I guess it is German, although it is produced by an American company. But like they had it there, and they had it like cover facing out, and I was like, "Is that Killer Condom?" Because I was like looking for it, and I was like, "I have no hope that I'll ever find it." And I bought it for $25. I was like, "This is worth it." It's more expensive than a
Nice.
Criterion Blu-ray, and I bought it.
It's pricey.
It's really hard to find. So, again, Vinegar Syndrome. Release Killer Condom, please.
Gotta do it. Trauma.
Do you know that form on the website where you can suggest films?
Yeah, yeah.
I have suggested Killer Condom like twice a year since I watched that movie, since like
Keep doing it.
2016. Like I keep sending it to them.
I'm gonna do that with Miami Connection.
Somebody needs to, because it's like what, $200 now?
That's ridiculous. Out of
Like
print.
from AGFA, I believe.
Something like that. Man, I watched that streaming, but it was like a shitty transfer.
Yeah, that's how mine was too. Because I saw it on Amazon Prime, and I was like, "Oh god," it like looked really bad. It's
I was
like
like, this.
VHS
I was like, this
quality.
movie's golden. They're just fucking running out of cars in the middle of the city, just kung fu fighting, bro. I'm like, this is what we live for right here.
Only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. The most convoluted, contradictory message in any film that I've ever seen. Only through violence can we achieve world peace. It's basically
That's the
what
way
it
it goes.
says.
Sex and violence sells.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Do you have anything else on
Uh,
on Meat Pie?
that's pretty much it. Other than I fucking love this film.
You said it was the gym, right?
It's a jam out of the bunch. Easy. There's like no doubt about it.
Well, I guess I'll go on to mine then. This is a slipcover that went out of print pretty soon after I got it. It was like 15 left. And I've heard some good things about it in general. It's not like the best, but it's like good. It's not bad. And I agree. And you were right. It is Malibu High.
Oh, I was right. Nice.
It looks very like somber, you know, California sun and the desert. And I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you own this, but if you push the case out, you'll get full like ass in your face with like the main woman naked, smiling at the camera, basically at you. And it has that really weird 90s like artwork of like people. It was like it's kind of like Archie, if you remember those. Or Mad
do,
TV, whatever it's called, that Mad, like, cartoon, like, artwork, like in the magazines.
Yeah, I remember those.
It looks exactly like that. So it's, like, really bizarre. And the reversible cover is no different at all. Except the name Malibu High is printed in front of her face for some reason. So you only get her butt. But, you know, her face is just as, you know, amazing as her butt. Have you seen this one?
No, I picked it up on the sale, but I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess, pitch it to you. So basically, it's about a high school senior who is. It's like a week left until graduation, and she's gonna flunk history. I believe is the main course that she's gonna fail. Like that's the one she's most far behind. And so, like, all she does is get high and drunk, like every night. Like Tuesday night, she's out in the town, smoking weed, drinking lots of alcohol, hanging out with pimps and stuff. And she's like 17, 18, like usually the age of a senior in high school. And it's just like really bizarre. And one day she's like, you know what? And this week lead up to final grades, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a change in my life. And we're like, yay, she's gonna get better. No. She enters into sex work. And she like starts blackmailing all of her teachers to have sex with her in order to increase her grades. And so by the end of the film, she has straight A's, and her principal's like, yeah, hey, I'm gonna talk to your mom because like you have straight A's in like a week. How the fuck? And in my head, I'm like, C's make degrees, dude. Why did you ask for like 100s on your grade? Like, cause they changed it to 100. So the principal is immediately, tipped off on that. By the teachers, and she's like, "Oh, I just really studied hard," and she like gets naked in front of him in his office, and is like, "Okay, now fuck me. Well, I'm gonna tell my mom that you raped me."
Oh man!
And so he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, and she like gets him drunk at her house, because he's like, "I'm gonna talk to your mother," and he's like, "Oh, like mom's not here. She's at work at like 10 p.m." And gets him drunk on purpose, has sex with him, and takes pictures. So she blackmails him, and then she becomes involved with like a big town pimp, where she makes like thousands of dollars an hour, for like 4 hours straight. And then she marries the pimp, and then we get like a classic ending that's very reminiscent of like Taxi Driver, shockingly.
Yeah. I was gonna say Angel. Have you seen Angel?
I have not.
That's very similar to Angel.
Oh
Except
my
she's
gosh.
like a prostitute at night.
Yeah, this movie is 1978, so same year as Dawn of the Dead.
I think Angel's in the
Give a
80s.
frame of reference. Yeah, so this movie is like, I guess, far ahead of its time, because it's. I don't know if you know the Pier Paolo Pasolini film, Teorema. Same guy who did Salo.
I don't.
It's basically the same. Actually, never mind. That's the wrong metaphor. That's for my next movie. I'll talk about it then. But this movie, like the slipcover is so different than what the actual movie is. It kind of gives away the ending, honestly.
Wow. They reminded me a lot of like a 80s like screwball comedy, something like that. When I saw the
There's
cover.
no comedy. It is all tragedy. That's what's shocking.
Wow.
Because, as I said, you flip out the case from the slipcover, and you get her like smiling at the camera. Her butt is straight out. You can see like camel toe on this. And she has no bra on. She's fully frontal. And you have a bunch of like men in the back, and that mad like TV artwork, smiling and leering at her. So immediately you're like, oh, it's a teen comedy that's gonna be leaning on sex and screwball comedy. No, this movie's about a woman who goes into sex work to exploit her teachers to give her A's, and it's not funny.
Wow.
That's what's shocking about this movie. It's really good. There's way too many scenes of her just blackmailing people. So it got really boring. Well, I think the runtime is 90 minutes exactly. It shouldn't be feeling that like short or that long.
Yeah.
Like, there's way too many scenes of her having sex and be like, haha, now give me an A. There's like 6 scenes like that. One for her math teacher, history, principal, uh, Spanish teacher, I think. It's like everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because at one point of the movie, the principal's like, how come all your male teachers are giving you high grades? What about the female teachers? Have you been studying with them? And she's like, oh, they're not worth my time or something. And I'm like, that's probably what tipped him off. There's two big
Yeah.
hints. Like, all the male teachers are giving her 100, like on the final grade, when she hasn't turned in a single assignment her entire year. Like, in my head, I'm like, give me a 90
Yeah.
at
Mix
the
it up.
max. Don't,
Too obvious.
yeah, like, because that's the number one thing that people always say when, like, I don't know if you had this happen in like high school where the teacher's like, what do you think you got on this test or this paper? And you're not supposed to say 100. It's like, oh, maybe a B plus. Oh, you are underselling yourself. You got an A. Is what they're like trying to get you to
Yeah.
do. And she does not know that. You do not give yourself 100. You never do that because immediately the teacher's like, okay, what did he do? That's like the first
Yeah.
lesson you learn in like high
It's a
school.
good teacher.
Yeah, like I always gave myself 90s because I was like, it's an A. Like, it's good. Like, I never gave myself 100s on those like stuff, assignments. So I don't know.
Wow.
That's the entire movie is her just being in sex work and exploiting her teachers. it's it's funny.
It reminds me a lot of
circumstantially.
Angel,
Yeah, I haven't
but
seen that. They
Angel,
did do a box set, right?
yeah,
Vinegar Syndrome.
Angel had a serial killer though in it.
There's one.
But
There's a couple kills in this actually, because we have a whole plot about her ex-boyfriend, who is like tired of her because he's like trying to go to college, gonna be a finance major or whatever, and so he starts
yeah,
dating like a super hot like church girl, and our main character is like atheist. Don't know, so 70s. So I assume so. That's probably why they made her like an asshole, because they were like, oh no, we can't have atheist characters, being good. But like,
yeah,
there's at one point they have a shootout, which is towards the end. So, but like, yeah, I mean, it's just way too long, and I was shocked just now when I looked and it was 90 minutes. I was like, really? It's just like I don't believe that. I'm not gonna rewatch it in a while. I mean, it's just interesting enough that I like it, but
yeah,
there's just one too many scenes of, hey, I'm gonna have sex with you and you're gonna give me 100. Because in my head, I'm like, oh no, go for the 90.
yeah. Don't make it too obvious.
There's a lot of
It sounds real exploitative.
it's very
Exploitive.
exploitation. Like, this is your classic 70s like sexploitation film. Although it's not like Malabemba where you have full frontal anal and like blowjobs. Like, but you get a couple short films from the director.
I can't
on
forget
this.
when you said the teddy bear.
Oh yeah, she straps a dildo to a teddy bear and has sex with it.
The
That
teddy
blew me
bear.
away. I was like, okay, like originally I was like, okay, interesting movie. Okay, now like this movie's bizarre. Like,
That just makes me want to check out the film right there.
you should buy it. Yeah.
Actually, gonna look into that.
I
For
felt
sure.
aroused while watching it, and I was not the target audience. I mean,
No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Malibu High. So sounds right up my alley for exploitation.
I recommend it overall, but I don't know if I'll
Is
ever
it your
watch it
favorite
again.
film of the bunch? Or?
Oh nah, man, the third one's my favorite. I loved the third one.
No. Oh, okay.
I'm looking at Tough Guys Don't Dance. Do you have? I guess you do have that if you have the package. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
I got the package. Uh, not yet.
Looks
I
good
haven't
for
gone
me.
through the whole. I haven't gone through the whole package yet.
I still haven't gone through last month's, so
I'm still on my Severin cell films too.
how many do I have? Lindsay Baker, Killer Crocodile, All Colors of the Dark, Wax Mask. Yeah, yeah, 4 releases left. Not bad.
I still got like seven to watch.
Oof. Well, technically, I have 7 films, so
Hmm.
or 6, I guess. No, yeah, 7 because it's 4 in the Lindsay Baker. I have three
I watched all
standalones.
the I watched all the post-apocalyptic films.
I'm happy we can't do a post-apocalyptic theme because I don't own any, shockingly, outside of Mad Max.
That's the best one. Even though these were fun, man. They're like you got Fulci in one. Fulci directed one of them.
The not Endgame, that's D'Amato, right?
Yeah, Diodato,
Oh,
Ruggero Diodato, I think.
I was
Or
thinking
no,
of
Diamato.
Joe.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Joe.
Diamato. Yeah, Joe Diamato did it. I get confused with those Italian directors, man. There's so many.
They all make the same. It's probably like Adam Smithy or Alan Smithy, that fake Hollywood name that people use to like cover the fact that they did it. That's what David Lynch did with Dune, with the quote unquote director's cut, where they added a bunch of footage and they were like, "Oh, this is his cut," and David Lynch was like, "Don't put my name on that. I will sue you." And so they put Alan
Straight
Smithy.
up. Yeah, it's like George Eastman. That's just his American name, what they call him here. He has an Italian name. It's like Tobias something. They just put that to sell it here in the US. Cause look
Hmm.
at that fucking name, George Eastman. It sounds like Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Eastwood.
Yeah, Eastman.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what's the next? Whose 10 is this? It's your 10, yeah.
My turn. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I did Malibu High just now.
All right. We're getting into the next film, and you just brought it up, Christian.
Oh.
Tough guys don't dance.
Oh!
I had to play it out so I wouldn't give it away. It was hard.
Oh, shit. Okay. So I was sitting here, I was looking at the app, not to plug, I'm not getting paid for this. I wish I was paid by Vinegar Syndrome. But I was
Yeah.
on the app and I was curious because I was like, I haven't really looked at the monthly package in a while. And I just looked at it and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, Tough Guys Don't Dance. Yeah, is that good? And Leon's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Man, that was hard to play off, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard to play off. Oh.
Man, I had no idea. Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay.
Sell
Okay.
me
So
on it.
tough guys don't dance. 1987. My opinion. Horse shit.
Oh,
Sorry.
really? There's Rings Hauser. How could you not like
Yes.
it?
I know, man, and I love him. Okay.
He's the biggest guy on the cover I'm looking at now.
This is directed by Norman Mailer. He also died. Everyone's died. Every director I brought up from these films.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing the theme of cursed.
Yeah. It's a 2000. He died in 2007, age 84. He wrote films in the 60s and 70s. I absolutely know nothing about. But the interesting thing is, I was watching the credits, and it says executive produced by Francis Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola?
Yes, there you go.
Holy
I can't say the
fuck.
name right. I fucking opened my eyes. Like, really?
They didn't say that anywhere on this.
No, but when you watch the film on the credits, it says executive produced by him.
It's
Unless they just put his
nowhere on
name.
the Vinegar Syndrome page. I have it up right now.
It's weird
Holy
because I was
shit.
watching the film and it is on the credits. Don't
I
ask
need
me
to know
why,
more
but
about that.
yeah, I couldn't find nothing on it. I looked it up and nothing. Weird.
Just to
But anyways,
butt in here, did you see the interview with Wings Hauser? It's a new interview.
no, I need to watch it because I
What?
love Wings Hauser.
They also have an interview with the director's son. So those are the two I'm curious about. Which I'll stop talking because this is yet. I don't know nothing about this
No,
movie.
it's all good. And I fucking love the name. Tough guys don't dance.
It's a very. It reminds me of that Clint Eastwood movie where he's like, "Are you feeling lucky?" It's like I think of that movie when I hear that name. Dirty
Yeah,
Harry. That movie. Yeah,
Dirty Harry. Yeah,
has that kind
oh,
of theme.
those films are awesome.
I like it.
But anyways, this film starts off like you're watching a soap opera with the music,
Hmm.
or like let's say you're watching like a show Murder She Wrote on TV. That's
Yeah.
what the music sounds like when it's starting. I'm like, really? That's very odd for
So
a movie called
immediately
Tough
you were
Guys Don't
turned off
Dance.
then, huh?
I was right away. I was like, this sounds like a TV movie or something you're watching on TV. But anyways, it starts off. You got this guy. He's wakes up. He has pretty much stuff under his eyes. He could tell you right away he's having a rough time. He has his dad visit him. His dad has cancer. He lets him know, and he's like this tough guy. The dad, he had that voice of you'd see like of a mafia guy. So I said, okay, this film, Coppola, a guy with a tough voice, and then you see the son talks like he'd pretty much be like a how could I say it, like an author or a TV guy. He has no tough voice at all. Complete opposite.
It's nasally.
So, anyways, his dad pretty much goes to talk to him, tell him he has cancer, and he pretty much tells him that he wasn't pretty much proud of his upbringing. He actually thought he was going to be a queer. The dad tells him straight up, and he was worried about that
If only
because
the
the dad's
dad
like this
knew
tough
that
guy.
that's no longer a criticism now.
Yeah,
That name's
he's
been
odd.
embraced.
It's pretty much straight up, dude. He tells him, "I thought you were going to be, this." He tells him in that word. And anyways, he tells him, "I'm glad you weren't," or whatever. It's real awkward conversation. So they're drinking scotch. His dad said he had gave it up because of his health, but he's back to it because he don't care now because he has cancer. So he's like, pour me a shot. So they're pretty much talking. It gets into the son's story. He starts to tell what happened to him, and it goes into a story throughout the film, pretty much on the son. And it starts off with he starts talking about parties he had at this beach house because he's like at this fancy beach house. And I was like, "You have this kind of money?" He's like, "I married a rich woman. She's taking care of me." So you have this. He's talking about his parties, and as he's talking about parties, you have the introduction to Wings Hauser.
Hey,
He's a
and
police
he's
chief.
blackout
I
drunk.
did like Wings Hauser in this film. He enters the party, and you got people doing cocaine on the table. You have a naked girl, topless, answer the door, and you have Wings Hauser is a police chief, and she's like, "Come party." You know, Wings Hauser's like, "I'm on duty. I can't." He's like, "Come on!" And then he sees like the cocaine and the liquor, so he's like, "Okay, fuck it." He goes to the party while he's on duty, and he starts partying, and all this. Him and that son are talking, and it's crazy the interaction because you don't know if they like each other or not. That's the interaction. So they're having that. And, it leads up to a story. What happened? He married a rich girl. He left his first love, and this girl led him pretty much down destruction. Uh, it's real awkward. You have like a séance between the girl he's seeing now and him. They're at a séance table, and one of the girls says, "We're gonna do a séance to pretty much bring some whores to talk to from 200 years ago." It's like real awkward. Bro.
What?
So I don't know why that came into play. I still don't understand it.
I imagine a bunch of Victorian women in like those big skirts. Would you like a
Yeah.
blowjob?
So they're trying to pretty much talk to the spirits of whores from 200 years ago.
They should have talked to Malabemba.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, it leads to that. Then you have Wings Hauser telling this guy, I guess he grows marijuana in his beach house. This was funny. I guess I right. Wings Hauser tells him, "You better hide that marijuana farm you have there. I saw it." And He's all, I know it's homegrown. He's all, weed like that pretty much feathers my ass, he tells him.
What?
That's what he tells him. He's all, when I smoke weed like that, it feathers my ass.
What does that even mean?
I don't have no idea. I think Wings
Wings
Hauser was
House
drunk
is
during
just
this film.
blackout drunk. He's just doing what he does. It's the whole
In his police
Shakespeare.
uniform.
It reminds me of that Gideon Shakespeare. I don't soliloquy. I don't even know what to call that speech that he has. Now I want to talk about Shakespeare. What? He is struggling, and John DeHart is just like sitting there, just trying not to just like die of embarrassment. What year was
Like I
this,
said,
by the way?
1987.
Oh, so like 6 years before Gideon. Holy shit. He must have had his alcohol consumption controlled then. Because Gideon is really bad. He's like, oh, God.
Yeah. This one's like, he has his charm. I'm going to say Wings Hauser made this film for me. But man, other than that, I could not get into this film. I'm not going to be honest. So it goes into like a murder mystery, love, romance. You got this guy explaining his first love. They used to swing. He used to give his first love to another guy and him to another girl. And that's how he met this girl he married now with money. So it's like a swinging love affair, the murder mystery, pretty much.
Is it obvious who killed whoever?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's like my main complaint about in the Forgotten Jolly set, the police are blundering in the dark. It is so obvious who the killer is. That's the biggest detriment to me when it comes to murder mysteries. Is if the literal first shot of the killer, you know that's the killer. No suspense.
You could pretty much read this right away. You could see the menacing character.
Oh.
It's like, man, I'm going to be honest. I fell asleep during this movie for like 15 minutes.
Wow.
And then
I guess I'll wait. I'm buying that.
And it says this is a screwball comedy, which I didn't get through the whole film. There's nothing funny.
That's just like Malibu High. Oh my gosh, we're connected.
Yeah, it's like, it even says on it, screwball comedy, hilarious of all time. And I'm like, what? There's nothing fucking funny in this movie.
It made me
besides
depressed.
Wings Hauser saying that weed feathers his ass. But I love Wings Hauser, and he does have some moments, but it's got to be one of his weakest films, honestly. But yeah, it leads to this murder mystery. Like I said, you have love affairs, you have swinging partners, a lot of sex scenes in this film.
Hey, something. Rank off a bit.
You have the fucking main character. He's banging this girl in front of her husband, and her husband's crying. And then
sounds like a hilarious scene, honestly.
It turns out that he's actually gay. It's just weird.
Oh.
And he has love letters to other men. And pretty much we have Wings Hauser at the end slapping himself and calling himself the maniac. I don't know. It's just out of the blue. Fits his character because he's like an ex-soldier that turned cop. But other than that, man, I honestly fell asleep during this film. And it has a badass 80s song at the end.
Hey, that's always good.
I love the song at the end.
Friends for eternity,
But
loyalty.
Something, you're my first love. Something like that. Oh. But
what's that Gideon love song?
I'll be ready when they're on the bench.
You're sleeping. That
Is it
is
when
the
they're on
most
the bench?
awkward fucking scene. That sex scene in the bathtub.
Honestly, I have no more notes. I fell asleep for like 20 minutes of this movie.
See, everything you said about this made me want to watch it more. So I wonder if it's like really good for me. Because I'm sure.
Hey, you might.
Maybe you saw Wings Hauser's name and was like, fuck yes, this is going to be so awesome. And you were disappointed by it, maybe? I mean, the meta mystery part, like, I agree. I hate it when it's obvious who the meta is. Because that's what happened in Police Are Blundering in the Dark. and
Hmm.
I was just like, oh god.
And it talks. It has the main character talking through the story, like telling it.
Oh god. Like Extra 3. Oh no, that's like my biggest complaint about that movie.
He's talking throughout the story, and I'm like, really, this is annoying.
It's like a flashback. Is that how it
It's a
is?
flashback, yeah, and then it leads up to the point where his
So
dad
you
visited
know
him.
that the main character has no issues surviving.
I can't get into that in case you watch it, but it has a satisfying ending. But it's happy. But man,
John
this film
DeHart
was
shows up
terrible to me.
drunk.
See, I would have loved that. And I would have said, fuck yeah. But
That's his one
nothing
and only
happens.
film he ever was in. It's a shame. I wish he
The
did more.
story's the story's just too predictable.
Yeah.
Honestly, it reminded me of like a TV film. You're watching like a TV series on TV.
Oh, oh, like the what's that awful channel that plays like really awful Christmas movie? Hallmark. It's like one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
movies.
It has that, but with like more nudity, more sex. But
Honestly, if Hallmark had more nudity in the Christmas films, I'd be happy.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's just a weird movie. It's all over the place, and that's what it says when you look it up on IMDb.
It's
It's just
all over the place.
it's all over the place. That's the first thing they say when they're reviewing it, and I agree. I I mean, it had some charming characters. Wings Hauser and the dad was hilarious.
It's
Actually, Wings
essentially.
Hauser and the dad are bonding more than his actual son. And they're making fun of him, but man, I wanted to like this movie and I couldn't. And then they have these accents on the film that are just horribly acted.
Keanu Reeves with a British accent and
You have this
Dracula.
girl, this menacing character who's supposed to be a redneck hick,
Oh no.
and that's all she says for the whole film. I'm a redneck, and you get annoyed with it.
Okay, we get it. Your accent sucks,
Okay,
but yeah, sure.
and you could tell she's not even a redneck. She's just acting the voice.
Southern California city girl.
Yeah, like you'd see her on a modeling picture, but she's over here.
Fully
I'm from
tanned.
the South. I'm a red. She has to say it, and I'm like, oh my god, why do you have to say it over and over? We already know. I just, like I said, I fell asleep during this movie. And then when the 80s song went on at the end, I woke up. I was like revived. Damn, that song's awesome.
Revive from the grave.
Pretty much. But I can't recommend this. Like I said, you might like it. It's a murder mystery. That's what I got out of it. It's supposed to be a screwball comedy, but I didn't really laugh through the film. Like even when Wings Hauser says that marijuana will feather my ass, I'm like, he didn't even put it like at a tone where you laugh.
I wonder if that was like what do they call it? Off the cuff. Like, hey, say something funny about marijuana.
Yeah,
Okay, we're shooting. Smoking
it's gonna
marijuana
feather your
feathers my
ass.
ass. And everybody behind the scene just looked at each other like, what the fuck?
Like who wrote this shit?
Wings, how's it?
Because I right away in the intro, I see Wings Hauser show up and he's like on duty and they're like, there's cocaine and naked women. And he's like, okay, let's go. I was like, okay, Wings Hauser's going at it. This is him right here. It does nothing.
Well, I'll
Oh my.
see what other people think. I mean, I doubt this is gonna run out of stock anytime soon. I mean, it just came out what one
Yeah.
week ago, so I'll think about it. It
And I hate to
sounds
end
up
it on
my
a bummer
alley.
film.
Oh, don't worry, my movie was my favorite of the bunch, so I'm picking us up
And
back
I'm
on it.
opposite. I had the worst one at the end.
Is that it? Anything
And
else?
that's it.
Better
I have no more to
recommendation
say.
of this type of film? Do you have?
Honestly, All American Murder.
I agree, and I highly respect Billy Warlock, not Billy Zane. His lookalike. He's really great in it.
And they have it has the right title, All American Murder. This had to have murder in the title because Tough Guys Don't Dance has nothing to do with this film. But
Shall I go into mine? My
going to yours,
final.
man. I'm done. I have no more to say on that.
So I don't know if you've seen this. I've never heard you mention it before. But this was one I bought because it was supposedly low on stock, and the moment I bought it, it shot up to like 400 units. So, I just, whatever. Got another movie on my shelf. This one, as I said, is my favorite of the bunch. This one was just incredible. It is called, from 1973. Okay, this is a very early Giallo film. Spanish Giallo film. I keep delaying saying the name because I want to see if you can get it. It is The Corruption of Chris Miller.
Yes. Been
It's a
wondering
very
about this one.
early Vinegar syndrome. Okay, no, it's not. 2019. Okay, I lied. It's 2 years old. Um, I love this movie. It's a little long, but it's very atmospheric. The basic story is
That's
that
what I love.
a daughter and a stepmother. The daughter is like in her 30s, and the mother is like in her 60s, I want to say. But it's a stepmom, and they have like an incestuous like relationship, which is really bizarre. But I mean, whatever. It's the 70s, so I'm not gonna hold it against it. But basically, they're holding out in a house, like a vacation home. And we get a lot of intrigue about the daughter. Lots of unexplained circumstances. It's really hard to describe because a guy shows up and he's really sketchy, and there's been a lot of murders going on. This guy shows up and he arrives just in time when murders start happening in this village in like Spain, Portugal maybe. And Chris Miller is the daughter, and she's really hot. She's like in her 30s, as I said. And the mom is like in her 60s, and they have like a weird kissing relationship. It's really bizarre. And there's lots of nude scenes with them both, and they're both very beautiful. But like this guy shows up at the same time as the murders, and they're like, "Oh, he's a murderer," but also it could be your father because the father apparently murdered the original girl's mother, because the stepmother kind of takes her in to his vacation home in Spain. And this is what I meant earlier by how it was similar to Teorema by Paolo Pasolini, who also did Salo. Because a guy just shows up and causes chaos in a family. And in Teorema, a guy shows up and has sex with everybody. It makes everybody jealous and hate each other. In this movie, a guy shows up and he supposedly kills people, and we don't know who the killer is until the very end, and the twist is just awesome. I love the cover. The alternate cover is just as amazing as the original one. It's a Spanish giallo film. It's just popular enough that Vinegar Syndrome was confident enough to make it a standalone release instead of like in the Forgotten Jolly collection, where two of the three films in the volume one were Spanish films. from around this time. And so they were very confident in this movie. And it's really fucking good. I rate it up there with Dario Argento, honestly. Cat o' Nine
Wow.
Tails. Like, it's really fucking good. It's a Giallo film. From Juan Antonio Bardem, which I wonder, I don't know if you know this guy, but Javier Bardem, he's the really menacing Spanish guy from No Country for Old Men. He's the killer. I wonder if
Oh yeah.
they have any relationship. Because they're in the same type of movies. This guy's just amazing. It's a 4K restoration. It looked fucking awesome. It's never been released on home video until this release. So you get like a piece of history when you buy this. I mean, there's a short film all about the real life person behind like this movie. Jean Seberg. We get a whole interview about the entire career of this director, which like I love. I haven't watched it yet because I was just kind of, okay, whatever. You know, took the disc out, you know, put it on my shelf. But I just couldn't stop thinking about it. This was a really good movie. I mean, I don't know anybody involved in this. I mean, the stepmother is played by Jean Seberg, who was in Breathless, which I don't know if you know that movie, but that's a very, like, one of the top French films of all time, I believe, or Italian. It's on Criterion by Jean-Luc Legard, or Godard.
No, I never heard of that.
It's one of the best films of all time. I haven't seen it because I don't care about, you know, that kind of movie, but it's really fucking good. And the main killer, he has a poncho on, like a Spanish poncho, and a sickle. And there are some really bloody scenes throughout this film. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I really like this movie. It's up there with Cat o' Nine Tails. Not as high up as Deep Red or Suspiria, but
Yeah.
Cat o' Nine Tails. It's just, it blew me away, honestly. I
I'm
really
sold.
like this.
I'm honestly sold. Just what you've been saying there. It's my type of movie.
It's 2 hours, I'll say that now. It's a pretty long movie. An hour and 13 minutes. An hour and 53 minutes, I mean.
Just shy of 2 hours, or
Yeah.
no, past 2 hours.
7 minutes before 2
Right.
hours. An hour and
7 minutes.
It's 113 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I keep fucking that up.
Just shy of 2 hours.
Yeah. So it's like a little long. You kind of feel it at times. But I mean, the twist is just amazing.
Love it.
What else? The acting is really good. I mean, the stepmom and the daughter is really hot. And they're just one of the best actresses. I mean, the stepmother was in Breathless. And Jean-Luc Godard's film. It's one of the best French or Italian films of all time. So,
I've wondered about this movie for years, and what you just said there, I'm
yeah,
sold.
same here. The artwork is just amazing. And finally, I was like, okay, fine. I'll buy it. And so I did. Because it said 50 units left. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go buy it now, just in case. And then got, you know, up to 400, like, immediately after. I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, I own
could
it
get
now.
me a copy.
Yeah, definitely buy it. I mean, it's $20 maybe, at most. I would say it's worth it. It's really good.
Yeah, it sounds like right up my alley. I know I say that a bunch, but it does.
The
I'm a big
biggest
Giallo
shock
fan.
is that it's a Spanish Giallo film, which is not a very big genre. I mean, the only Spanish Giallo films I've seen have been in the box sets by Vinegar Syndrome, the Forgotten Giallo, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
but like that's it. So the fact that this got its own standalone release, like, shows that they had a lot of faith in this release.
Yeah.
And watching it, I was like, yeah, like, this is awesome. I really like this. This is my favorite of the bunch. I
How's the
mean,
music? How's the music in it?
it's great. I mean, I don't remember it that well, but I remember I was just like, yeah, this is atmospheric. This is like, um, it's not like Phenomena where you have like Iron Maiden doing the fucking music. It's not like Suspiria where it's like very like atmospheric. I would say it's like opera where the music just adds the flavor but isn't really a
Mm,
standout.
opera's great.
I haven't seen it in a few years, but I remember
Yeah,
it like the music just added, depth. And like
yeah.
that's all it needed because everything else is awesome.
Wow. I'm definitely intrigued in this film.
It's really I wish I had the slipcover. Like I'm willing to buy, the $50, with the slip.
Ah, I missed out on it too. That slip was nice too.
Rank your three movies from best to worst.
Off. Oh, okay.
Just for those wondering.
I'll go three, two, one. The
Oh, from
worst.
worst to best. Okay.
Or wait, you said from best to worst or worst to best?
Let's do worst to best. Why not?
Okay. Worst, of course, tough guys don't dance.
Oh,
Move on.
Paul Ringshauser. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
Hey, Wingshauser, I love you, man. But
He's not gonna listen to
this
this.
movie was a disappointment. Nah. The Lamp at number two. And of course, my favorite, Auntie Lee's meat pies.
I need to finally watch my copy of The Lamp. I still have it 2 months later.
It's
Whatever.
fun, man. I liked
Auntie
it.
Lee, I do plan on buying that. I'm gonna wait a while until it gets a little low on stock. But
It's a blast. If you like those quirky backwoods slashers, that's definitely what it is.
oh great, just like Texas Chainsaw or Hills Have Eyes, House of
TCM
a
2,
Thousand Corpses.
TCM 2, and Auntie Lee's meat pies.
A great double feature. Would you recommend that?
Yeah, I'd recommend watching those back to back.
Well, my three from worst to best is Malibu High, but again, not bad at all. It's 5 minutes a little too long. War Force is number two. Watch it with a group of friends, drunk. Everybody will have a good time. And the
I
best
can
one,
vouch for that.
yeah, and the best one is The Corruption of Chris Miller. That movie is a straight classic Giallo film. I was really shocked when I finished it. I was like, wow. It's like,
I
this
can't
is
believe
up
I
there with
passed on
Dario
that.
Argento. Like,
I passed on that, and I'm regretting it.
there's a really great twist at the end. I don't know if I've said that enough, but it's really good.
It always stayed in the back of my mind, though. I could sense that I missed out on something with that film.
That's how I was too, because for years it's been on my Amazon wish list. I guess for 2 years, because it came out in 2019. But ever since they announced it, it's been on my wish list, and I've just been going back and forth. And finally, I was like, I'm buying it. Like, it's been on it that long, and I'm still interested. Obviously, I'm gonna like it, and I was right. I really like that movie. So
I'm gonna have to pick it up because I go like a month watching Giallos just straight.
I have too many Jallos, and not
Me
enough at
too.
the same time. But
That's one thing I love is Giallos, man.
so do I. I'm just very particular about it. I need to finish the Jallo sets, by the way. I haven't even touched volume 2 or 3.
If you come across one called Eyeball, pick it up.
Hmm.
Fantastic.
Well, what do you want the next theme to be? I'm gonna let you choose.
Oh man.
Don't do anything ridiculous like post-apocalyptic, 'cause I don't own any.
I gotta think with some we both
It could be a
have.
label. time period, maybe. Um, really anything.
Shall we do Arrow Video?
I have a lot, and we are allowing rewatches. Well, oh, never mind. I was gonna ask if Shout Select counts, but that's if we do a Shout Factory or Shout
Mhm.
Scream, or that doesn't count. Okay, so just Error Video.
Just Arrow Video.
Do you want to have box sets count as one, or a movie and a box set count as one?
Let's
Like,
just have a movie as count as one, just a single movie.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's good. Okay, well,
because some box sets go like crazy.
Tsukamoto, 12 films.
My Mario Bava box set on Arrow.
I wish I had that. They had that up
Fucking
for
has
like
like
a week. They're trying to maximize the profits.
yeah, great films. Let me tell you.
Well, I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Leon, for joining today.
Thanks for having me, Christian. It's a blast, man. I'm enjoying the segments.